and welcome to the 23rd battle of the Losers Bracket here at the FFT 1.3 Season 5 Tournament. I present to you our contestants for this battle. We have Monty Python and the Holy Grail, that is CT5Holy, whose team consists of a knight, a sacred, a monk, and a priest. We've seen from his previous battle that this is a earth-based team, and the central component of this earth-based strategy is the sacred. If CT5Holy can keep this sacred alive, he might just measure on the Richter scale with Mimic Titan. However, there is a possibility, as we've seen in his battle with Ryzen, for this sacred to get injured and separated from the rest of his party, in which case he'll spend his turns in flight mode. And CT5Holy has a very low mobility team, as all other units have no more than 3 move. This means that it can be difficult to chase this sacred down with a healing spell, and if his other units are preoccupied with offense, the sacred might just be sitting out the rest of the match, which is unfortunate. The newcomer from the winner's bracket is Smitson. He has a lancer, a samurai, a ninja, and a summoner. All units combine offense and defense in one form or the other. Firstly, the samurai, who has jump and throwable items. Now, I've been observing lancers with throwable items on several teams in this tournament. I believe both Wiz and Baron, the commentators of the winner's bracket, also have lancers with throwable items. And I believe the reason for this is because it's a tried and true setup. You're essentially trading in your support ability for a chemist with staying power. Lancers also have 9 base speed and access to the Carabini mail, which makes them decently fast. The samurai combines attack up with a 2-handed katana and time magic, so haste. The ninja combines 2 swords with both abandon and defense up, so in spite of her low HP pool, she is quite resilient to physical based attacks. And finally, the summoner combines offensive summon magic with white magic. Now, the one unit I worry about on Smitson's team is precisely this summoner, as she does not have short charge. She also has best compatibility with CT5Holy's monk, who has attack up. So if Smitson can't keep CT5Holy's monk off of her, she'll be spending most of the battle on her face. Moving right into the battle, the first match has us at Map 71, Dolbadar Swamp. So Smitson is hoping not to have his summoner die too often. If the summoner dies too often, then the rest of his units will be spending turns essentially healing her. And if the monk is continuing to take out the summoner, Smitson will not be able to stay on offense. So we're starting here with, I believe, haste spells. It's a proper way to start most matches. CT5Holy has brought haste too, so he can hit all his units with haste. So CT5Holy has a decisive speed advantage. And there it is. One shot with Earth Slash from 5 tiles away drops the summoner. She does have re-raise, but that's only going to get her out of jail once. The rest of the turns will have to be spent by Smitson's offensive units. And the ninja is already berserked. I'm not sure if Berserk cancels Abandon. We'll see. I'm not sure. But anyway, Berserk really makes her attacks hurt. But unfortunately, she has just died. Which causes the Lancer to spend a turn reviving her. And she dies once again by damage split. So both teams charging in, dealing quite a bit of damage. They're all hitting more than 150. Well, Mimic Titan hits for 175. I believe that's good compatibility. And as we see, it is not the summoner. The summoner is staying safe behind the enemy lines. It's the ninja who's constantly hitting the floor. So Abandon and Defense Up isn't doing that much for her. Summoner hits with a Shiva. That's attack up. That's magic attack up Shiva, so it really hurts. and the ninja tries to retreat back to the safety of her lines, which gives CT5Holy some breathing room, as he can resurrect his fallen comrade and push forward a bit. Ninja throwing a shuriken and continuing to run away, presumably in anticipation for a X-Potion, as we see. So the monk is down and the summoner is alive. And the knight is on sandbagging duty, so the summoner is essentially free to cast offensive magic. Very painful offensive magic. So Smitson is looking good at this point. Lancer continuing to heal his team. And Summoner continuing to lay down the summon magic. Phoenix Down isn't going to cut it. CT5Holy needs to... I don't think CT5Holy can come out of this. Although I'll reserve my judgment for when the match ends. All that's left is this knight, and he is charmed. So he will not be resurrecting his team members. I believe Smitson will just bide his time and let CT5Holy's team members voxelize, and then take his time with the Soul Knight. Or not. I'm just gonna get right into it. Smitson's impatient, as am I. So let's wrap this up. CT5Holy letting the Samurai hit 2 units there. Draw out, well, negate the Knight's sandbagging every time, since Phoenix Down doesn't heal for that much, and the battle is over. So on to round 2. The second battle would have had us at a checkerboard map, which is covered in water. Unfortunately, CT5Holy's Sacred has a poor affinity to water, so I moved the teams onto dry land here at the Aragway Woods. As we've seen in the first match, in order for CT5Holy to come out on top here, he's going to need to keep Smitson's summoner down, as Smitson's summon magic decimated his team. This means that he's going to be placing a lot of faith in his monk to take down the summoner. And the Sacred is already don't acted, unfortunately, but he gives all units a haste spell, and the monk wastes no time in taking down that summoner. So if that monk can stay alive, he might just be able to keep that summoner down, which is what CT5Holy is going to need. But against that ninja, as we see, the monk doesn't stand much of a chance, so the monk is down as well. And the summoner's back up with re-raise. Perhaps that's all she needs. If CT5Holy can't get his monk back up. However, CT5Holy's knight picks up where the monk left off. Samurai charging forward, hitting with a very nasty katana attack. More than enough to take out that priest. And the monk once again taking out the summoner and the ninja for a bit of retribution. So this is now CT5Holy's match to dominate, and it is Smitson on his heels. The summoner goes for a very risky raise spell, well in enemy territory. Will she get it off? The monk says no, so the summoner is down once again. And I believe the only unit left on Smitson's team is that Lancer. He's going for a jump, but it's not going to be enough. There's too much HP for the Lancer to chew through. The knight choosing to basically emaciate the Lancer with a slow. I don't believe it will be necessary though, as CT5Holy has enough offense to bring down the Lancer, slowed or not. And that's it. So CT5Holy takes us to a third round. How do you settle a dispute in which one team thinks it's stronger than the other? Lock the two teams in a storage closet and let them sort it out. In this case, the storage closet is Bizrodio's house. So it is... each team is on notice. One team will not be making it to the next round. I believe that the close quarters is going to favor this Sacred with his Mimic Titan, which will also heal CT5Holy's team in the process. However, with the close quarters, this summoner can also lay down some nasty summon magic that can hit nearly all parties, all teams, all units in CT5Holy's team. However, the summoner will also have much more difficulty staying alive, as we're seeing here. And 2 Mimic Titans takes out 2 units. 2 down, 2 to go. CT5Holy restoring his HP. His team is quite healthy at the moment. And it's intent on staying healthy, as with Mimic Titan healing HP. However, all his units, 3 of his units, get slowed for that, which Smitson will need to get back into this battle. Abandon paying dividends. Can't pay dividends against concentrated repeating fists, though. And the samurai, angered, takes out the monk. Smitson trying once again to get his summoner back on her feet. But she won't be on her feet for long when you're up against a hasted knight like that. Smitson losing his units here. He now has 3 units, however 2 of them are injured. And now he's down to 1 unit, so he's looking good. And that's it. CT5Holy, you'll be moving on to the next round. Smitson, I'm sorry, but you are sentenced to oblivion. Thanks for playing.